I don't know how many of you heard of Aleister Crowley. I'm sure some of you have. He was an occultist. Some people called him the wickedest man in the world. Other people say, well, he was just misunderstood. Well, technically, the occult itself is not dark. So supposedly, although there's many Christians and Muslims who consider anything magic or occult as forbidden information, Aleister Crowley definitely leaned towards the dark side. There's no question that he did. Many Satanists use his philosophies and their teachings, and he definitely had a dark side to him. He would engage in animal sacrifice. In one of his books called the Book of the Magic and Theory and Practice, he says in one of the footnotes that he's engaged in human sacrifice of a young boy every 2 weeks for like the last 20 years or something. That's what he claimed. I mean, I first read that, I thought, oh, he's got to be exaggerating, but then I found out later on, no, these Satanists and people, they're into this. They're into human sacrifice and child sacrifice. They're into it. And I used to think, how could they get away with it? Well, when the police are involved, the politicians are involved, the judges are involved, you can get away with all kinds of stuff. And almost all of society's leaders are high-ranking Freemasons, which on the lower levels, it starts out claiming to be a benevolent thing, but you start getting into the higher levels, it starts becoming more organized crime and more Luciferianism or Satanism. Lucifer is basically Satan wearing his angel of light disguise, okay? Claiming to be the light bearer, but it's darkness. It's the light of Lucifer is actually like the light of the fires of hell. It's not the bright white light of heaven. But anyway, the stuff that's going on now, especially with the left, the liberals, seem to be embracing this do what thou wilt. You know, you got basically like in San Francisco, you can shoplift up to $900, and it's considered to be a misdemeanor, and it's basically like a little slap on the wrist, if even that. They're not even getting it. People are just walking into stores and just helping themselves, whatever they want. And how are these businesses supposed to stay in business? And people are just coming in and robbing them for hundreds and thousands of dollars. And now they have what they call these flash mobs, where they're just coming in, like 10, 20, 100 guys, people coming in and just grabbing thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff and running out the door. And it's like they can't even call the cops because, you know, it's pretty much legal. If you want to steal, it's legal. You know? And now, you know, just watch this thing, Fox News had their Christmas tree burned down by, I think it was an illegal alien. But then again, that's legal to be an illegal alien nowadays. So anyway, and, you know, they caught him, put him in jail, and just released him like the next day. I mean, committed an act of arson. That used to be illegal. It used to be illegal to burn stuff down, you know. Not anymore, I guess. He committed an act of arson. Must have cost thousands and thousands of dollars in damage. Could have injured or killed people, including himself. That would have been no loss. But then he doesn't even get a slap on the wrist. Nothing. And that's just part of this Crowleyan do what thou wilt thing. And the do what thou wilt is a very childish philosophy. It's the way kids think. Kids want to be able to do whatever they want to do. You know, and kids aren't that smart. They're not aware of the consequences. Like these stupid idiots that are stealing thousands of dollars in their communities, and they think, oh, wow, look how much money I got. Yeah, and then pretty soon they're not going to have any stores in their communities, and they're going to have to drive 20, 30 miles out of their way to go get stuff. You know, and that's the way it's going to be forevermore, because nobody's going to build stuff in a community that's being robbed. You know, nobody can afford it. You can't afford it. You know, these businesses have to make a profit, or they can't stay in business. You know, and they don't think, it's like children. They're not thinking ahead. You know, little 2-year-old Johnny wants to play with Dad's electric saw because that's a cool looking toy, and Daddy puts the saw up where Johnny can't get it, and Johnny's mad because Daddy won't let him play with this new toy. You know, Johnny doesn't realize if Dad let him play with this toy, he's liable to be missing some fingers or worse. But Johnny doesn't know that. He's 2 years old. He just thinks Daddy's being mean, won't let me play with this new toy. You know, little Sally's mad at Mommy because she won't let her play with the candles. You know, Mommy realizes that if she lets Sally play with the candles, it might burn the house down and lose all their property, and they might die a horrible death. Mommy knows that, but little Sally doesn't. Sally thinks Mommy's being mean, won't let me play with the candles. And that's the same thing with these Crowleyan Democrats who think that everybody should just do what they will, do what you want to do. And that's not even getting into the darker side of this do what thou wilt. Because if you read the whole thing, the book of law, well, first of all, it says, do what thou wilt, it shall be the whole of the law. But then it says love is the law. So that sounds great. Love is the law. So it's like, you kind of get the impression that it's saying do what you will, do what you want to do as long as you do it in love. So that sounds kind of good, but it doesn't work that way. You let people do whatever they want, they're not going to do anything out of love. You let people do what they want, they're going to start acting like childish children. Selfish, childish children. That's the way people are going to behave. You let them do whatever they want to do. You read the whole book of the law, then later on it gets into raping and torturing people. And showing compassion for people who are suffering is horrible. And so anyone who shows compassion for the weak needs to be punished severely. So, I mean, it's not a good philosophy. Aleister Crowley was not a good person. And these Satanists are just like children. They're not thinking... They're thinking very short-lived. Anyone who thinks that making a pact with Satan or demons is going to pay off in the long run is an idiot. You know, like some of these... I better not get into that right now. Not on this channel. I can't say anything about the chosen people here. But anyway, I guess that's all I want to say, is that society is going down the toilet quickly. because of this do what thou wilt philosophy.